Okay, we're going to delve into the GP's office now. Basically, the first room you're ever going to build in the game, and the one that's you're going to need the most of over time. And to focus the most on, I mean, I've had some hospitals run 10, 12 GPs, with hundreds of patients. So really, the first thing is, well, what do you want to place down? Just go with the 3 by 3. Like, it's not gonna there doesn't seem to be much of a benefit to making it bigger than that. Plus, you're going to be needing a lot of these on some of the levels, so you want to get them all stacked in. Okay, in terms of door, you're going to want at a corner, like the left or the right. I'm just going to put this one on the left. And then we've got the desk. You want to get that patient's chair as close to the door as humanly possible. That way, they only have to take 2 steps in. And the only other thing you actually need in a GP's office is the filing cabinet. I'm just going to throw it over here for now. Um, so, okay, we built a GP's office. All right. We've got our first patient coming through reception. We need a doctor. What do we do? All right, well, I've set this up so it's just student doctors, so nobody comes in with anything. But let's look. Green finger, okay, just positive. That's Jeremy too. Okay, here we go. We got our first GP. Now we're also going to want to hire a second one, too. Now, usually most strategies have you focus on using dedicated GPs, but you can mix and match, but it gets really confusing at that point. You don't want half your GP staff when you're running 10 different GP's offices to go off running to diagnosing, treatment, whatever. So I just go with dedicated GPs when I can get away with it. So I've got 2 of them running now. All right. Okay. So anyways, since this is not a temperate, we're going to need a radiator. We're going to just have to buy that. Normally we would let's put in another radiator here for the receptionist and whatnot. We're going to have to put in some non-GP things, obviously. All right, so look, it took just 2 steps in. It's talking to the GP. Now, okay, let's take a look at our GP in general. Just his happiness is pretty good, 84%. Okay. Once training, all right, fair enough. Energized, though, plus 10, so. Um, and let's see. Stats. Okay, 100% diagnosis skill. All right. Okay. 60% on their diagnosis in this case. Illness difficulty is going to have a lot of effect on how much they get diagnosed to. The easier stuff, you can get your GPs probably just getting it right off the first guess, which is going to affect how many diagnosing rooms they need to go to. And in fact, let us look at policy. We'll just move the threshold up to 100. Fast track treatment decision. Otherwise, every time they go back to the GP to be sent, I'm not sure why or the point of that in the game, but usually you just turn it on. So, all right. So they diagnosed the first patient now. Okay. We need a pharmacy. They'll do some idling animations. Oh, the next one comes in. 2 steps. He sits down. Oh, okay. Another one. Let's see if I need to be able to defend. Oh, I need a ward now. All right, we've set up our hospital, basics of our hospital a little better. We also don't want benches in our hospital with very few exceptions, so don't place those down. But yeah, see, person's going to the pharmacy or the ward that we've set up over here. All right. We've got toilets, we got a staff room, whatever. But let's take a look. Let's see, happiness is 66 once training is energized. Stats, it says 90%. That's because of, whatever. It is what it is. Army's going to help a little bit. We got some revenue going. Two step, sit down. We can run a perfectly serviceable GP office just this way. Now they're going to want training eventually here. Okay. Well, let's let's get to setting up a training thing because we got unlimited amounts of money, and I'm going to assume that if you have training available, you're probably going to be able to start training at least on the first rank. The first star there pretty quickly, and that's kind of how you also specialize. Right now, our two doctors could do pretty much anything. They could be GPs, they could be treatment, so we're going to be looking to specialize them. So yeah, anyways, we went around placing the photos, so we got ourselves up to a level 4 room. Okay, we could make it a 5, but 4 is still an improvement. Well, let's see how it's an improvement. Well, attractive environment and amazing room. 25% happiness, so 20 is 45 happiness. So that's great. We're keeping the doctor happier. Well, let's see how they're affected. Attractive environment, see, 11 plus. While they're in that room, they also got a happiness boost. Now, the question some people might ask is, well, okay, what do we want to buy for this room to make it better? Well, let's see. What about a coffee machine? That gives them stamina. Well, let's buy it and see what happens. Now, if you'll notice, they get a chance maybe to do one idle elimination before the next one comes in. Yeah, he gets to stand up. He does a little bit for a second. He doesn't even make it over to the coffee machine. And with a fleet of GP offices, your GP aren't going to have a chance to do much of anything. They'll probably get away with one idle animation before the next person comes in. So the coffee maker in this case is completely useless. Same thing with snacks or whatever. They're not going to have time to use it. Okay, what can we do to kind of help ourselves out here? Well, one in terms of items, we can do a lot better in the Jasmine Odyssey photo. And this, again, this is going to need kudosh, I know. So, yeah, 200 kudosh for the Gold Star Award, which we can use everywhere. It's the one of the most broken items in the entire game. So let's get rid of our photos. Now, these things do cost money, so obviously, if you're hurting for money, okay. All right, so our office is back down to level 2. Oh, no, wait, there's some over here. Okay, we're back down to a level 1. All right, let's put up those Gold Star Awards. All right, so we didn't even fill up the room, but now we're up to a level 5 room. So we've got a maxed out prestige on the room, and that's definitely going to have an effect. See, plus 30, plus 25. Uh, this is going to keep this doctor pretty darn happy. All right, well, the first doctor got trained, so let's train this one in GP. Now, okay, so as you know, doctors can get up to 5 ranks. Uh, each rank actually has additional ranks have their own benefit of plus 10 diagnosis and treatment, regardless of anything else. But then we got a plus 15 now, so we've got another 15 on top of. See, this was 90, now it's 105. But just for GPs, this guy is now specialized in being a GP. I mean, he could do other stuff, but we really don't want him to do it because we trained it. We spent $15,000 to train him, so that's what we're gonna do here. And then the other one's being trained now. So I should check on and set some more things up. Now, the thing here, when we get to training, is do we want to have a doctor with 5 levels of GP? Well, that would make sense. That's what you should do. But why would you do it if you don't have to do it? So key is to make sure we don't actually have to use all 5 stars on GP. Anyway, so we got 13 cabinets in. That's a plus to diagnosis. That's going to cancel out the need for 5th GP star. We'll send him off for training for number 2. Okay, so we've gotten the one trained in 2. We're going to send the second one off to get trained in 2. All right, we've got a hospital running now, doing things. Regular patient flow going. Let's look. Got our 2 GPs, both trained in 2. It's gonna take a little bit of time before they're ready for the next one. All right, so I've upped the attractiveness by quite a bit, although I'm gonna fire a bunch of janitors. So now I've got 2 offices running. I'm gonna point out a bit of a no-no that I did, though. Put the vending machine right across from this GP office door, and this line could interfere with the line at the GP. All right, so I moved stuff around in the hospital. Not running into lines at either GP office right now. Not really. It'll be a while before we need a third one unless everything picks up. Trying to get a little bit of a jam here. This office. So we're probably going to be looking towards the third GPs. I've got 3 offices running now. Well, in all fairness, I do have 2 site ones going, but 2 pharmacies. Epidemic. All right, done a little bit more building on, including a second receptionist desk. To address thermal comfort levels. All right, so we got 3 rooms going. Let's start getting some GP3s going. So if you're wondering, we're not going to train him to GP5, which we probably should do at least one because there is kudosh and stuff involved. But yeah, so well, what are our other things? Training masterclass works great. You could have somebody at a 4 with training masterclass and the 1 teaching trait, and they could be a super teacher. If you're going to have massive amounts of GPs off, a dozen plus or something, then be able to train other GPs quickly and be able to go through your staff, especially as ones that you get paid way too much. You know, you want to replace them out with new people. So, yeah, see here, we're not getting any more warnings. We got 4 offices running with 5 GPs. Let's check on our status for whatever. Um, oh, I don't care about that. I'm leaving myself in this building plenty of room in the middle because I may want to put in a better reception area down the road. Right now I'm just running off 2 desks and that seems fine, but I may go into a receptionist room. Well, I almost certainly will once things get more busy. And after that one's trained, go on to the next one. Let's take a look at our GPs. Oh, this one can be promoted. And this one needs training. That one's being trained. We're getting a pretty busy hospital now, if you've noticed. You know what? I'm going to kind of keep it a little crowded and busy here, even though I don't need to. Just so you get an idea of what's happening. And even if we were running with a limited amount of money, we're not too bad, revenue versus expenses. Kind of on the nose, but other than that. Oh, need another. Oh, I got that for me, but pretty busy in these wards. Oh, okay, so we're in a crowded situation again. We must have bumped up our levels here. Oh, I'm gonna another one in. So I can get it in. We got 5 offices running with 6 of them now. Patients are up in the 80s, heading to the 90s. Let's see. How's our wards doing? Our DNA testing is going crazy. So, let's see. Right, so we've moved and expanded more, and now we're running 6 GPs with 6 GP offices with 7 GPs. So let's train this one. So as you can see, we're running 6 GPs offices, and we're still running into a little bit of lines here. But we have more than 100 patients in the hospital. Start by making another one. Get another doctor. We finally got one that has the fourth. Another one in. We got 8 GP's offices. So that's where I think I'll leave this with the GP's office. We got 8 of them running in this hospital relatively efficiently, and I've given you a pretty good idea. I may touch on setting up professors for things like GPs later on in another video. Until